Well, we're finally here, Internet. This is part 8 of my 3D printer build for my Sunhokey Prusa i3. If you have a little look here, you will see some time indexes. If you're coming back to this video and you need to jump straight to a particular part, like part 1, 2 or 3, then just jump to those times right there and that should take you right to them. I hope you find this entertaining. It was great fun building it. Not so much fun editing it, I'll be honest, but great fun building it, and I've still got some bits to go, as you can probably see here, but this should progress soon. Anyway, enjoy the video. Okay, this is now part 1. What we will need for part 1 is 3 plastic parts, 1 M5 by 25mm bolt, 1 M5 nut. It says 2 M5 shims, but what that means is M5 washers as we know them. So 2 M5 washers, 2 M3 by 16mm bolts, 2 M3 nuts, and 2 unilateral pulleys. 2 unilateral pulleys, I'll get that right. So first thing, we need to grab the 2 smaller plastic parts. Then the M5 shims. Then the 2 M5 washers here. The M5 bolt and the M5 nut. As you can see, this is going to go through there, through the washer. So bolt, through the plastic piece, through the washer, through the pulley, through the washer, through the plastic piece, through the bolt. Nut, sorry. Now be aware on these, there is a thinner end and a thicker end. So what you want to do is put the larger end nearer to the plastic piece. And in this one here, it's the other way round. That way there should be a groove basically in there. So if I put this together, all right, now hold that on there. Now, they do give you a spanner, but it's not that size spanner, so but that should be tight enough now. So that, as you can see, got it tighten up. Don't over tighten on these, because this is only acrylic. If you over tighten on acrylic, it will most likely break on you. So let's just do that there. So I've tightened it pretty good to the point that I can hold this end and that end doesn't move, yet these still spin freely, because that's where one of your pulley wheels is going to be going. Place that bit there. I can tweak that later once it's on this next piece, which you need next plastic piece. Then you need the 2 M3 by 16 nut bolts and 2 M3 nuts. Now the way this works is, this piece is universal. This then goes into that piece there lastly. Might take a bit of fiddling. There we go, it's in. So what you want to do now is you want to take your small nut, and that will go into, you'll see a tiny little, you see there's a little slot in here. That's where you need to get that. So that's in there. Now I'm going to trap it with that. Okay, you might now be able to see exactly how that works better. So you have the bolt goes through there, through the plastic, and captures on that nut there. So I just got to repeat that on the other side now. Okay, the easiest way to get these in here is hold the bolt that way rather than trying to hold it sideways. So hold it that way, then it's real easy just to get in there. Then I tend to just put my finger on the other side, tip it, then grab it. You should keep it in place. Should. So now we have those two bolts and nuts tight. That is on there. Now I'm going to adjust this. The reason I did that was because of the way they were offset. I should have showed it to you beforehand. They were sitting a little skew-if, but now they're in there and they're tight. Got that on okay. Okay, that is part 1 done. Now part 2. What we need in part 2 here is 2 plastic parts, 4 M3 by 10mm bolts, 2 M3 by 16mm bolts, 2 M3 nuts, 1 metal pulley and 1 stepper motor. First we take the stepper motor, and I'm going to do it with the cord coming towards me. Then I get this plastic part here. Now, first thing I've got to do, which I didn't have to do on the other steps, is now take off this plastic coatings. I have absolutely no nails, so there we go. That's one of them. And then the other side. Okay, so now we have the clear part. And I'm going to place this on here with these cutouts for the other bits later. There to my left. You're right, but it's my left as this is coming towards me. Then what you need are the 4 M3 by 10mm bolts. And then what you can do with these is these go onto the 4 corners of here. Just using the tweezers so my hands don't get in the way of you and the camera and the piece so much. Then we tighten these up. Again, do not over tighten, but don't leave them loose either. So that's that bit there done. Now we've got to get the pulley, metal pulley. Now be aware, on this metal pulley you have in there and there little grub screws. I'm using that Allen key as a spacer, and we want to do it actually, if you look, you want to have the thin end and there's a thick end. You've got the thin end heading down, and then tighten that up and tighten that one up. Luckily these are not acrylic parts, so you want to make sure these are nice and tight. Okay, so we've got that piece on there. Next you'll need the second piece of acrylic. Now on this piece of acrylic, on the instructions, it does note that if you measure between here and here and here and here, one is like 70mm, one is 85 and a bit, I think. You need to know which one is the 70, because this is about to mount with the motor heading. If you put these holes coming up towards the top here, the motor's going to come on here and it's going to go into there. So you want that over the 70mm part. Now obviously I'm going to take the coating off now and get this put on there. That then goes onto there, and then we need these 2 M3 bolts by, I think, if I remember correctly, 16. Yep, M3 by 16, and the 2 nuts. And you'll be doing what you did on the last one, and you'll be doing this a lot on here, which is feeding these into those slots like that, and then coming through there with the bolt to secure it. These are not very good Allen keys they give with it, or not very good bolts, as they tending to slip a little, but that's probably a good thing because it's slipping before you over tighten. So there we have it, the next completed part. The motor should now be securely on there. End of part 2. Okay, part 3. So for this one, what we need are 5 plastic pieces, 1 box slider long, 1 T8 copper nut, 2 unilateral pulleys, 8 M3 nuts, 4 M3x16 bolts, 4 M3x12mm bolts, 4 M4x12mm bolts, 1 M5 nut, 1 M5x25 bolt, and 3 M5 washers. First we will need the copper nut and 4 of the M3x12 bolts. Okay, what you need to do is, this has 2 ways up, one end sticks out more than the other, so you want the one that doesn't stick out as much, and you'll be putting these in through the top, like so. So there we have it there, with them sticking out the bottom there. Next you take the plastic piece you see here, which has the circle with the 4 holes around it. There it is, with the 4 holes around it. Take the plastic protection off. So you want to have this in a way that when you're holding it, that end there with the 4 holes in is away from you, and that piece is to your right. Then that way this piece can just drop in down there on that side. Then we can flip it over and take 4 of the M3 nuts, and then these go onto here. Okay, I've just gone through my little tools here, and this is a 7/32 thing, and this is the right size, but I want to be careful that I don't over tighten. So that piece is now securely on there. Now we need the larger of these pieces and the 2 smaller pieces. Now these 2 look almost the same, but as you notice, this one has a thicker piece here and points for the screws, whereas this one does not. So I now just have to make sure I get all of this in the right place. So let's first de-plastic them. Having a little look at these pictures, you'll see one side has this hole. So it's a really easy and quick and easy way to figure out which end is which. Apart from that, they do look to be mirrored. So what you do is the end with this hole on takes the short one into it thusly, and the end with the out where the hole's not near at, you put in the one with the thicker item there, see, and that goes there. They just push in at the moment. So as you're holding it, have the hole there to your right, but the shorter one in on the right, the taller one in on the left. Now you pick it up with the piece, these pieces facing towards you. You lift it there with the copper nut on the top, pointing away from you, and then these staggered junctions then go on to those pieces there. Then once you've done that, let's rest that there for a moment. Then get your M3x16mm bolts, and same with the nuts. Then place one of them in there. And now you're attaching this using the method we'll be using all along. Now these two nuts and bolts here, we'll be going using this second piece of plastic, last piece of plastic. And then, like you did with the other one up the other end. Now, what I'm trying to do here is trying to make sure that where you can see, if we look here, it's very hard to show in this light, but I'm making it so these slots line up with each other. Bring this up to the top. This should then connect on here. So the idea being is when you look at it, that hole that's there, see if I can shine this on the light just right, that hole that's there should line up with the copper one, and this line should line up with there. So you notice there's a bit of extra plastic here, and that should be the same down there. And then just continue the wonderfulness that is not in there. Get in there, you. Bolt through there. So there we have it. We now have this section here, which has got your copper bolt goes through here, what have you. So we've got that much done. Right, next bit. This is where we now need to do almost a step like we've done before. So we need our two pulleys, M5 by 25, M5 nut, washers. Now it's going to be slightly different according to this, which is we'll be taking, let's put that to one side for a minute, the bolt, but we're not going to put a washer on yet. We're just going to go straight to one of the unilateral pulleys, again with a wide end currently going towards the bolt head. Then the next one goes on with the thin end going towards the other unilateral pulley. And then it says put the 3 shims all on the same bit there. I think that's just because being used to spacer it more than anything. It's not there really to add as a washer. Then what we do with this part is this will go on there, and this goes in not the side the copper's on, the other side. And then you get your M5 on there. Tighten that up. 5/16 on there, supplied one on there. As long as that still spins freely, that's all that matters, because the belt later on is going to come into here, round there and back again. Now we need this, which is the slider, and the 4 M4 bolts. Now the slider will be going on the same side as the copper piece and the bolt that you had on there, the nut, sorry. I don't know what this hole on the edge there is for. It has one. It looks like something in it. Now let me be, just before I go, I just want to test this with one of the rods. Let's try it with one of the short rods, because I think that's the ones it's supposed to be for. Seems to be a lot of fluff up around this end here at the moment. No fluff at this end, okay. I don't know why there was fluff in there, but I think I've got rid of it now, and I don't know what is that down there. That is metal. Okay. So we'll be taking it, the hole will be going away from the bolt and towards the edge. Don't know if that makes any difference, but I've got a funny feeling later on, if you do need access to it, it's going to be far easier to get hold of it on this side than it would be if it was trapped behind that nut and bolt there. Now this has 4 screw holes here, and this has 4 holes on the plastic there, so it is just a simple case of line them up, bung them in there and tighten this up. Now one of my favourite little tricks is I like to put one in and then go to the opposite corner, because that should then bring everything a lot more squared up, and hopefully then others just pop straight in. I put them all in first to light tight and then do the tightening round at the end. From what I understand later on with these items here, as there is a possibility of a slight bit of play in them, that you might end up being loosening these a bit later just to get it so it's on the rod, because the rod will be going through there later, then this will be sliding up and down it. So just in case that's, you know, need to tweak it to left a bit or right a bit to make it go up and down the slider easier. But at the moment I'm just going to tighten them up where they are. If that's bang on and right, then great, I don't have to come back later and tweak with them, and I know they're tight. If I need to tweak it later, I'll have to loosen them at the time. And there we have part 3 complete. Well, there we go. That was part A of the build video. If you liked it, please give me a like. If you disliked it, well, then hit the thumbs down. If you've got any feedback or suggestions, please throw them in the comment box below. If you want to catch me online, you can get me at Hiboson on Twitter, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And if you don't want to miss the next one, hit subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're new and this is the first video you're seeing, if you go back, you can see like the unboxing video and a few other videos leading up to the build video. And otherwise, I will catch you next week for part B. See you then. Bye.